tithes. When we receive tithes, I know churches do this right now. Somebody gets up and says, well, it's time to receive tithes. And boy, the whole church starts shouting. They start celebrating because they get to worship God. I don't tithe because I have to. I tithe because I get to. Hallelujah. You tithe because you have the honor and the privilege of tithing. And some churches right now, they celebrate it, as they should. We should start doing that. Celebrate the tithe. Celebrate the opportunity you have to worship God. Because I was, listen, years ago I determined I'm not going to make light of the offering like I've heard some preachers do. Trying to get people kind of loosened up, kind of trying to get them feeling a little comfortable and all this kind of stuff. And they'll make light remarks and light jokes and light cracks about the offering and stuff like that, and tithe and stuff like that. A little bit maybe sometimes might be okay, but I hear this more than I should. I hear it way too much. Listen, and that time of service is just as sacred a time as anything else we do in worship. It's just as sacred. So there was a celebration time that was given. A tenth of grain produced was to be carried to a worship place where the family joined in a celebration meal. Excuse me. And in this case, the tithe was consumed by the giver. The celebration tithe was consumed by the giver. Listen, that's where we get a lot of eating, sitting down and eating meals together stuff. Fellowship. That's what was going on during celebration time. People brought in things and they ate and stuff, and we still do a lot of that. I tell people we're Pentecostal, we like to meet and eat. So they got together, they would share that tithe. They would celebrate that tithe and share that tithe, and they would eat. And of course, after sharing with the Levites in an act of worship, that's what they would do. Then there was the charity tithe. The charity tithe was to help the poor. You can find all this in Leviticus. Okay, there's several scriptures in Leviticus that you can find. If you want to look it up, I can look it up and give you the scriptures. But there was the charity tithe, Numbers in Leviticus. The charity tithe was to help the poor. It was to help the needy. It was to help the aliens, those who didn't have citizenship in that particular country or that particular area. It was to help widows and orphans and the Levites as well, again. And so, the charity tithe, well, we do a lot of that as well. These giving principles come from the Word of God. We get it from the Old Testament on up. So, before it ever became law. And so, the charity tithe, we do that a lot. We have people that give. We have people giving to the blessing box that bring a can of food or a couple of boxes of items or something to go in the blessing box, and someone's receiving a blessing from that. And we appreciate that. We have those who give to different things at different times, and they give to charity to try to help the poor, to try to help the needy. And all that has its place in the church and the body of Christ. All of these things. But see, these were tithes. We'll chunk in $2 or $3 sometimes and towards an offering. There's nothing wrong with that. Thank God for that. But this was a tithe. 3 tithes. So in actuality, they tithe 30% when everything's said and done. And you can't hardly pull teeth out of God's or it's like pulling hen's teeth from God's people to get even with 10% tithe. And we think, oh, well, if I pay that 10%, I might not be able to pay my light bill this week or whatever. You know, we think about in those terms, things like that. Where is your faith? These people pay 30%, at least 30%. Amen. And so we don't ask for 30%. Now, if you want to give 30%, we ain't gonna stop you. But we don't even ask for 30%. We just ask for the 10% tithe. So they gave to poverty. Poverty causes suffering, and God leads to eliminate this and all the other causes of suffering. God wants to eliminate those causes, and He uses His people to do just that. So He must be willing to share our resources to provide the needs of people suffering in poverty. Tithing was important in the Old Testament economy, in the Old Testament religious life, and is part of the religious heritage and guides the Christian, we as Christians, as God's people in giving. Those principles guide us in our giving because they gave to all these things to try to relieve the suffering of those who were less fortunate. So our gifts should foster the church's worship and celebration. We should celebrate. that we're able to give, that God has blessed us, that we can give. We should celebrate that. And we have, listen, as Christians, especially as Christians in America, we have the greatest reason to be the most celebratory people there can be. To have we got the most reason to celebrate. And we need to do just that, to celebrate God. The ministry of God's called out servants, the charitable ministries of the church, all these. You know, the United States of America is a giving nation. Why? Because that was set in our founding, when the fabric for this country, this nation was being woven. That was woven into the fabric of this nation by the church. In the founding of this nation, that was woven. That's why America sends out more missionaries than any other country on the planet.